about a workforce initiative that the governor is hoping can bring more jobs to the state and get more people working.
Today, most of us are dry, so can't rule out a couple of rumbles of thunder, especially central and northern zones, but it's really tomorrow. Here's the look. It looks pretty wet, doesn't it? I'll have that stormy forecast coming up.
This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Barbara Bailey.
I'm Bill Bryant. Here's what's happening at noon. Only a small chance of rain out there today after we had all that rain yesterday. Most of us stay dry as we head through this afternoon.
But those storm chances really ramp up tomorrow and Friday. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live in our First Alert Weather Center now with a look ahead. Micah?
Yeah, it's pretty dry right now. There's really not much going on outside. It's very calm, very quiet. However, that may change just a little bit as we head off into the rest of the afternoon. Not a lot of people should expect rain today. It's actually a much smaller opportunity than what we felt here and saw yesterday, but there still is a chance. Central northern zones is going to be the better likelihood of actually seeing the possibility of getting a little bit of rain today. Now, there's a bit of energy. Obviously, it is not very strong. It's not a potent system, but it's enough to throw off a couple of rumbles of thunder into our region later on this afternoon, anywhere from about 4 to 8 p.m. That's your best bet. But like I was talking about, this isn't a great chance of rain today. It's really tomorrow off into your Friday that you're really going to see those thunderstorms roll on through. It's more of just feeling it today. I mean, Barb was talking about this morning, even during the morning hours getting here at work, it was already humid, already sticky. It's 84 degrees right now in Lexington, 85 in Frankfort. So if we stop the day today with those high dew points, I mean, it still isn't that great of a feeling of the day, but we still got about 4 to 5 more hours of heating to go, which means that'll put us right there around that 89, 90 degree mark later on today. 84 degrees there in the Lennon-Corbin area. And so our high today, roughly 90 degrees, depending on where you are. The small chance of rain is with us 30, 40%, and that's about it. Like I was talking about, central northern zones, that's your best bet. As we head off into the evening and night, here comes some rumbles of thunder. We're going to be focusing in on that as we travel throughout your next several hours. But really what we're really eyeing tomorrow and off into your Friday, because that's when I expect the best chance of rain. Potential for a few strong storms too, and I'm going to be talking about that and obviously focusing on your weekend as well. That's coming up.
And a reminder, we can get a lot of rain in summer. Today marks the 1-year anniversary of the deadly flash flooding in Johnson County. 4 people died in the floodwaters there, 3 of them in Johnson County. The Flat Gap community was one of the hardest hit areas. Many homes were destroyed there. Some cleanup still continues for some folks, but most people who lost their homes have now returned to the same area.
A member of the Kentucky Air National Guard is accused of making a threat against police officers in North Carolina. Lieutenant Colonel John Ward was arrested over the weekend in Bryson City, along with his 2 nephews. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is at the live desk now with details. Michelle?
Barbara, a Kentucky family arrested in North Carolina is out of jail this afternoon. John Ward, a lieutenant colonel in the Kentucky Air National Guard, bonded out of jail along with his 2 nephews. John, Samuel, and Houston Ward are accused of threatening police in Bryson City, North Carolina. Police told the CBS station in Greensboro that the 3 were sitting on a park bench outside a bar when they saw a police officer drive by. According to Police Chief Greg Jones, the 3 men then ran across the street, one yelling, "Let's kill us a cop." 2 off-duty officers were nearby and arrested the men. Now, we were told by the Kentucky National Guard Public Affairs Department that John Ward has been a drill status guardman for more than a decade. In a statement, the department says it's not appropriate to comment on the matter at this time, but did say that Lieutenant Colonel Ward has served honorably. At the live desk, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Michelle, thank you. And John Ward is a pilot assigned to the Kentucky Air National Guard's 123rd Airlift Wing in Louisville.
Governor Matt Bevin is launching a multi-million-dollar statewide bond program in the Commonwealth. It is aimed at developing a highly trained, modernized workforce to meet the needs of employers and to promote sustainable incomes for Kentuckians. WKYT's Rebecca Smith is in Frankfort with more on this initiative. Rebecca?
The purpose of this initiative is to get more people working. Also, the purpose is to get more businesses into the state and the ones who are already here to expand. Now, Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin is spearheading this project. He talked about it today at the Capitol. He said Kentucky needs a well-trained workforce, and this legislation results from a bipartisan effort, he says. Businesses here worry about having well-qualified and trained employees, according to Bevan, and also Hal Heiner, who has a business background, and he spoke out in support of this. They say 47th lowest level of participation in workforce in the United States. That's a label that Kentucky carries. And Bevan points to Volvo as a specific example of a company that's refused to come to Kentucky to set up its headquarters because of its perception of a lacking in workforce development.
And the workforce development drove them to the final two, which was Georgia and South Carolina, and ultimately to South Carolina. They're investing $500 million to start, creating 2,000 jobs to start. How fantastic would that have been to have had that here in Kentucky? Could have been, should have been.
Right now there is a pre-application process that's taking place for private businesses, also high schools and technical schools that are able to apply for this. In Frankfort, Rebecca Smith, WKYT.
And Governor Bevan was also asked about Donald Trump today. He said he thinks Trump is a qualified presidential candidate, but he refused to offer up an endorsement. A recent appointee to the University of Louisville's Board of Trustees has declined the position. Governor Bevan appointed somebody to replace Doug Cobb. Cobb wrote a letter to Bevan saying that he had to decline the appointment after careful consideration. Cobb's Twitter account came under scrutiny after his appointment to the board. A concert honoring victims of the Orlando attack is going to be held in Lexington this evening.
The United in Spirit concert will be held at St. Paul Catholic Church on West Short Street. Organizers say the event is a time for people of all different faiths and backgrounds to unite to honor those who were lost in the attack. A reception with food provided by the Lexington Diner will follow at the Brossard House. The concert is at 7 o'clock and is free and open to the public. Today marks the 1-month anniversary of the deadly Pulse nightclub attack. Kentucky's iconic soft drink, Ale 81, is celebrating its 90th anniversary today. The company is marking the milestone by hosting an ice cream social for its employees. The gift shop will also be selling limited edition posters featuring a timeline of the classic Ale 8 bottle. The gift shop will also be bringing back a popular t-shirt from the 80s featuring a squirrel. Fans can buy both at the Ale 8 gift shop on Carroll Road in Winchester or on the company's website.
Presumptive Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump is set to announce his running mate by the end of the week. We'll have the latest on the race for the White House coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, former Lakers star Lamar Odom may be falling back into some bad habits. Why he was kicked off a plane earlier this week. Next on WKYT.
Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. 3 of the 5 police officers gunned down during last week's ambush in Dallas will be laid to rest this afternoon.
Funerals will be held for Senior Corporal Lauren Aarons, Sergeant Michael Smith, and Rapid Transit Officer Brent Thompson. The officers were gunned down by former Army reservist Micah Johnson during a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest last Thursday. Funerals for the other 2 officers will be held Friday and Saturday. A day after speaking at a memorial in honor of those 5 officers, President Obama is back at the White House making a new push for law enforcement reforms. He's hosting police leaders, academics, and activists. While praising police, he has also said that protesters like those in the Black Lives Matter movement have legitimate concerns, especially in the wake of deadly police shootings of black men in Louisiana and Minnesota last week.
Donald Trump called up his sons and daughters to meet him in Indiana last night so they could be on hand for a meeting this morning with Indiana's Governor Mike Pence. He's rumored to be a vice presidential finalist. Craig Boswell has the latest on the campaign trail.
Donald Trump and some of his family members visited with Mike Pence Wednesday morning, just 1 day after the 2 campaigned together. Trump hinted the Indiana governor might be getting a new title.
You'll be calling up Mike Pence. I don't know whether he's going to be your governor or your vice president. Who the hell knows?
Trump tells the Wall Street Journal he's looking for an attack dog, someone who is a fighter skilled in hand-to-hand combat to take on Hillary Clinton. Clinton isn't shy about fighting back. She says Trump is unfit for office.
Once again, Trump and his cronies are trying to pull the wool over our eyes and come back with the same failed policies that hurt us before.
Clinton has been beating Trump in most polls, but those numbers have started to fall. A new survey of battleground states shows Clinton and Trump in a virtual tie in Florida, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. The poll also shows Clinton's unfavorability ratings now higher than Trump's.
They're called swing states for a reason. They do tend to go back and forth, maybe more than other states.
Mark Leibovich with the New York Times Magazine says the FBI investigation into Clinton's private email server is temporarily hurting the candidate.
This will not be a long-term problem. I think this could be something she recovers from, but clearly the damage is done here.
Clinton will spend the rest of the day at fundraisers in Chicago and St. Louis. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
Meanwhile, Clinton is also working on vetting her potential vice presidential candidates. An announcement from her could come next week after the GOP convention. And Clinton has teamed up with the hottest name on Broadway for a campaign fundraiser. Clinton spoke to an audience of donors who had paid anywhere from $2,700 to $100,000 a ticket to see a special performance of the musical Hamilton with the original cast. After the show, creator Lin-Manuel Miranda introduced Clinton by taking a shot at Trump, asking the crowd, quote, "Are you going to vote for the guy who wants to build a wall or for someone who is building bridges?" British Prime Minister David Cameron has just left Downing Street for the last time as the leader of that country. He's now headed to the palace to turn in his formal resignation to Queen Elizabeth II as Prime Minister. Home Secretary Theresa May will become the new Prime Minister. Former NBA star Lamar Odom's life seems to be spiraling out of control once again.
Odom was booted from a Delta flight from LA to New York for being too drunk and repeatedly vomiting on the plane. Witnesses say he was drinking beer and whiskey at the Delta Sky Club before boarding the plane. Odom appeared to be getting his life back on track since being found unconscious at a Nevada brothel in October of last year. His estranged wife, Khloe Kardashian, refiled for divorce in May after pausing proceedings last year to help take care of him.
A video of a sergeant with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office is going viral after he treated some local kids to a sweet treat.
We'll show you that video coming up on WKYT News at 12:30.
Most of us stay dry for today. Most of us. We can't rule out a small chance of a couple of runs of thunder. But once we head off into tomorrow, look what heads our way. Doesn't look that good. We'll have that forecast coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
As of right now, we are calm and quiet. There is nothing going on right now. So if you're trying to get out to the grocery store or get the kids outside before nap time, you can do that. There's nothing happening. However, cannot rule out that small chance of rain later on this afternoon. The best bet is around that 4 p.m. to about 8 p.m. That's your best chance. Central northern zones, that's where we could have the better opportunity to actually see a little bit of rain in the forecast. It's not much, but it is there. And if you do get some rain over you, you're talking about some heavy downpours. The reason why I know that, look at these temperatures, mid-80s right now here at midday. And we'll finish off upper 80s to around 90 degrees, which means a lot of moisture out there involved. And so any storms that do go up, they'll have a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning too. 82 now in Jackson, 84 settling there and the London Corbin area. So the rest of the day, like I was talking about, there's small chance central north, that's your best bet. Let's look toward tomorrow because that is a better opportunity to see rain in the forecast. It's tomorrow and Friday. Watch this. We get into your afternoon, hour by hour. Here's your 4 p.m. Doesn't look that good, right? Heading off toward the evening hours, still looking at that chance of rain. The good news for you guys in Renfro Valley and also Mount Vernon, you got Martina McBride coming in town. And the good news about that, too, is it's inside. So it's not outside at some venue. It's inside. You won't have to really worry about these showers, thunderstorms sitting in there. But walking in, walking out, more than likely, you're going to at least have the chance at rain. Heading off towards your Friday, a lot of fairs going on Friday off into your weekend. Kicking off, it doesn't look great on Friday. I'll tell you this, Friday looks like the best chance of rain is that 64 corridor. This is the best chance, not the only chance, but the best chance, 64 and southbound. That's your best opportunity to see rain during that day. Once we hit the evening hours, it looks like it calms down just ever so slightly, but still a chance, at least during that time. Your weekend doesn't look much better, but it does look better Not a washout, not a complete washout, no widespread rain expected. A few storms will be around. We'll say 30–40% chance of rain. And every single model now honing in on Saturday and Sunday, showing up with a chance down in the southern zones only. That's as of right now. We'll see if we get a little bit closer if that continues. But as of right now, this is the first day I've seen that the southern zones have the better chance of rain, and as nobody else really has a good chance, central and northern zones. So obviously no washout, not a lot of rain there on Saturday, but it's something we just got to be watching. So if you're down toward Lake Cumberland Saturday looks like a better opportunity to see a passing shower or thunderstorm than, say, Frankfurt at the fair on Saturday. At 85 degrees, 89 there on Saturday and Sunday. It's not a bad weekend, guys, but today it looks like we could have a couple rumbles. Central and northern zone's best bet, but it does look like most of us will stay dry. Knock out your outdoor plans today. Next couple of days
do it now.
Rainy.
Do not delay.
Wish you had mowed, right?
That's right. You better.
All right. Coming back on WKYT News, the U.S. court sacks Tom Brady. We have the latest on that.
And the Cats and the Crimson Tide run the SEC gauntlet in Birmingham. Dave Baker's next with sports.
Some records were set yesterday in trading, but here at midday on your Wednesday, the major market indicators are down a bit.
This is day 3 of the SEC Football Media Days down in Birmingham, and the Cats will take their turn before 2,500 members of the media beginning at about 2 Eastern this afternoon. Our Dick Gabriel reporting on the day's activities on WKYT News beginning at 4. But the biggest draw of the week, well, it came this morning. That's because Alabama highlighted the first session, and that meant his 15th media day overall and his 10th as head coach at Tuscaloosa for Nick Saban. The media day is being held in Hoover, Alabama, and interest in the Crimson Tide is always huge in that part of the country. But with Saban having just won his 4th national title and with some off-field incidents since, there was no question that the Bama coach was the center of attention.
But I also think when we have failings that we know we're less than perfect, and I think we're always going to be very supportive of trying to help the players. To think that the only way to help players is suspend them for games, I think is a punitive attitude that may not be correct.
Tom Brady has had plenty of late-game heroics in his Hall of Fame career, but off the field he could be facing his most challenging 4th and long. His appeal of his Deflategate suspension denied in federal court. The Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals rejected Brady's appeal this morning and, in effect, affirmed Commissioner Roger Goodell's powers by suspending Brady for his role in a scheme to doctor footballs used in a January 2015 playoff game. The court rejected the appeal in a one-sentence ruling. Many in the legal community now believe the quarterback's final Hail Mary is to ask the United States Supreme Court to overturn that lower court ruling. That is something that most experts believe is a long shot. Cal's been telling anybody that would listen the Suns got to steal with Tyler Ulis. Boy, has he proven them right. With Devin Booker getting the night off, how about Ulis going strong to the rack right there and grabbing the foul as well, hitting that floater. And then how about more Ulis? Still in the second, gets another jump shot to fall. That gives Phoenix a 1-point lead. Move to the third. Tyler dribbles inside and gets it to go. And he's fouled on the play. My gosh, Ulis with 16 points, 7 assists, 5 steals, and just 1 turnover. Heat get the win by a count of 80-71. Man, is he playing well. Tonight on the Big Blue Insider, Mark Berger sitting in for Dick Gabriel, who's covering the Cats for us down at the SEC Media Days in Birmingham. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. Remember, the Cats step to the microphones about 2 o'clock Eastern, and Dick will have the latest coming up this afternoon at 4, guys. But for now, that's a look at sports on your Wednesday.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. And keep it here. There's more to come in the next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
After already being shut down once this summer, a Lexington pool has been closed again.
Coming up at 12:30, we'll take you to Rockcastle County, where law enforcement officials are training for an officer down scenario, with the memory of the Dallas police shootings still in mind.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $311 million, and Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $20 million.